class. So now we're going to look at how to import our photos into Lightroom. There's a number of different ways that you can do this. The most efficient way, if you just shot, so I went out and took pictures, now I'm back in and I want to import my photos into Lightroom. I want to get them off of my SD card, so my camera card, and I want to get them on a hard drive that is much more stable and a place where I can actually work on those documents. So I don't ever want to just work from my SD card. So I want to copy these images onto my hard drive, but then I have to create a link to those photos to my Lightroom catalog. So to be able to do that, um, all in one function, not in separate functions, I can go to the import button inside my library. Now, I can also get to that if you'd rather drop down menus, or maybe you're in another window and the import doesn't have a button in develop. So maybe you want to go to File, Import Photo Videos up here on the main um, in the main menu. You can also look at the quick key command, which is Shift Command I. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the drop down menu, and you'll notice that I have various hard drives, lots of different uh, versions of my Macintosh hard drive, probably with all the users and security. So there's some things there. And then you'll notice this EOS Digital. That is my SD card that is already in my computer. So if you haven't already put your SD card in your computer, you can go ahead and do so. You can just slide it out of your camera and put it into the card reader. Now, in the iMacs in the classroom, the card readers are on the back of the computer on the bottom right-hand corner of the computer. Some of the newer laptops do not have card readers anymore, and you might need to use one that has like a lightning port or a USB mini or something like that that will so that external card reader, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my EOS Digital. And now we are going to look at my card here. Some summer images from various, my workshop images, and then some equestrian photos. So you'll notice these ones that I shot up in Maine when I was taking my class, that these photos were they're all grayed out. That's because I've already imported them onto my computer. So it says this little checkbox over here says don't import suspected duplicates. So the computer says, okay, you've already downloaded this. And so this, again, those little triangles, you can twirl these open and close. So that might be under File Handling on the right-hand side. So just get ourselves oriented a little bit. This is our source file. So this is where our source that we're getting our photos from. This is where we're going to do all of the selection. And then over here, this is where we're going to make all of the choices to where to put these photos, where to name it, what folder, what folder it goes to. All of that is going to be done on the right-hand side. So we're moving left to right. Notice in the center, I have this, it says it's highlighted copy. I could also copy as a DNG, which is a digital negative. I don't necessarily need to do that for these particular images. If I really wanted a digital negative file, I would just use Canon CR2 when I was shooting, which is Canon's native RAW file, which when I'm shooting professionally, I typically shoot in RAW. Okay, so we are noticing that these are grayed out. These are already, those are duplicates. I've already imported those. And you'll notice that all the other ones that are in full color are automatically checked. So I may or may not want all of these photos to be. That's a lot of photos, and actually I do already have all of these on my computer. So I am going to uncheck all of them because I want to be selective of what I am shooting, or what I'm importing. So I'm not going to import all of these today. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get these, some of these photos, and I am going to, I want both of these rows from this top left-hand corner to the bottom right. So I want all of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the checkbox because that means that it's selected, right? And then I'm going to hold the shift key because the shift lets me add a whole group. And I'm going to click on the checkbox here, but notice what happens. It only selects these two when I select the actual checkbox. So I'm going to deselect these and I'm going to try it again. Notice if I just click on the gray bar, this becomes highlighted. So this image is not selected yet, it is just highlighted. But then if I come down here and shift click on this last one, all of these become highlighted. And then I can check any of the images here, and miraculously the checkbox will appear. Except Lightroom is being slow and uncooperative right now. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll down and it's being super funny. So I'm going to see what it will do now. So I'm going to also come down here and select some of these other photos. Now, I can also cherry pick photos by just holding the command key down and select some of these other images. It really is not wanting to go here. Okay, and then once I have these other ones of it, so I'm just holding the command key down, not the shift key, and it allow me to select specific photos or deselect specific photos. So then now I can hit the checkbox, and once Lightroom decides to let me do this, it will add it to the group. There it goes. Just being uncooperative. So I can come back up and I can see that the photos that I originally selected with the shift key, those are still selected, and the ones that I cherry picked are down here. So you can use the command key and the shift key in tandem to get what you want. Now, up here on the top right hand corner, you'll see it says Macintosh hard drive. If I click on that, you'll notice you have all these recent places where I have already imported, and yours might not be this robust, but I do this almost, on a very, very regular basis, if not daily. So I'm going to go ahead and click Other Destination. And that is going to allow me to pick where I want to put these on my hard drive. So I'm going to go to 2022 620 main media, and I'm going to put that, so that's going to be my root folder, and I'm going to create a new folder that is going to be today's date, and so 2022 on the 8th month of the year, and it is the 13th, and I'm going to name this just demo and create. And then I'm going to choose that. So now it just made inside my root folder. So this might be your personal folder on the hard drive. And then you'll create a specific folder for the project. So if it's project 1 or project 2, or if it is a narrative assignment or something, you'll just give it a descriptive name. I highly suggest getting in the habit of using the date first. That's really going to help keep you organized long term. And then I'm going to choose that. So I've chosen where these photos are going to go now. I've got to scroll down and I want to go down to file renaming. I want to check that I want to rename the file, and I'm going to go to this template of custom name. So I want to make sure it says custom name there. And then I'm going to give it the custom text. So it says custom text, and it's a little funny, like when it just kind of blends in with the gray. When you highlight over it, when you roll over it, it highlights to a slightly lighter gray, but when you click into that box, it turns into like a normal white text box. So it's a little subtle, and that's okay, but as long as sometimes we need to make sure that we are aware of that, I guess. So it's sometimes Adobe doesn't scream at you, they just kind of whisper. So just you have to pay attention to the functionality. So now I'm going to give it a name. Again, I might give it that same name with the date and everything. Sometimes I'll just copy and paste my folder name. It is going to, when it brings these in, so if there's 20 images, it's going to give it this name and then append it with 1 through however many photos. So it won't overwrite them. Now I'm going to scroll down, apply during import. You might have a preset or something that you know you want to apply. That's super efficient. I don't usually do that, but it's a nice thing. Um, eh, so I am going to come down to destination. This is the last place that I'm going to check before we go in and click import. How exciting. I'm going to make sure that into subfolder is not checked. And I want to make sure that it's into one folder is checked under organize. If you put it by date, if you shot over a number of days, it's going to put it in individual folders, which maybe if I was going, Eurorailing and I couldn't download my photos and keep track of it all, and I had to do that like, um, you know, two weeks all at once, I might do it by date. But for the most part, I want to keep it in the specific folder, project folder, and not break it down, because sometimes it gets too messy that way. So I'll put it into one folder, and it's showing me where it's going. It's showing me that it's in this specific user and documents in my main media folder, and then the folder that I just created. So now I can go ahead and hooray, click import. Now, when you import, and this is something I believe I forgot to show you, but you saw the import. When I clicked import, you'll notice it says eject after import. That's really helpful because then you can make sure that you can just pull that SD card out, and you don't have to worry about improperly ejecting your SD card. So there they are. There's our photos imported into Lightroom. Now if I scroll down here to my main media, I can see that now I have another folder underneath there, a subfolder. And if I go to my documents, go to main media, there are the photos that actually exist on my hard drive. So in one fell swoop, I both imported my photos from the SD card onto my hard drive and linked them to Lightroom, which is great. I hope that helped.